Chosen one. There comes a time in every believer's journey when God begins to shift your circle. It's a season that can feel unsettling, even painful at times, but it's a divine recalibration that you must embrace. It often begins with a feeling that something in your life isn't quite right, as if certain connections that once brought you comfort and joy are now starting to feel distant, strained, or even draining. You might notice that friendships you've had for years suddenly feel less fulfilling, and old environments no longer resonate with the person you're becoming. This shift can be difficult, especially when the relationships or places you've known are ones you thought would be with you forever. But here's the truth. When God begins to shift your circle, it's because He's preparing you for something greater. God is not only realigning your environment and relationships, but He is also realigning your purpose. The discomfort you feel when certain relationships fade, or when you feel disconnected from people or places that once felt like home, is a sign that God is preparing you for the next season of your life. The process might be uncomfortable, but it's a sign that you're being elevated to a new level of purpose and destiny. You may find yourself feeling like you no longer fit in the places or with the people you once did. Friendships and relationships that were once easy and fulfilling now seem distant, and the environments that brought you comfort are no longer as satisfying. This is not a coincidence. It's a divine shift. You are outgrowing your old circle, and God is moving you into the next chapter of your purpose. God's divine recalibration will often cause relationships to change. Friendships that once felt easy might now feel draining, and you may begin to feel a pull toward new people and new spaces that align more closely with your growth and future. Your old circle may no longer resonate with the version of you that God is shaping.
This doesn't mean you've done anything wrong, nor does it mean that the people in your life are bad. It simply means that God is moving you into alignment with your purpose and destiny. You're being called to step into a higher level of growth, and that requires a new set of relationships and environments. God changes your circle to protect your growth, align you with your purpose, and remove distractions that would keep you from stepping into the fullness of your calling. Just as Jesus chose His closest disciples based on the specific purposes they were meant to fulfill, God is carefully selecting the people and environments that will help you grow in this new season. Your new circle is part of God's strategic plan to elevate you and keep you on the path of your calling. The people you surround yourself with play a significant role in your spiritual, emotional, and personal growth. Your new circle will be more intentional, aligned with God's purpose for your life, and focused on encouraging you to walk into your destiny. This shift is not just about leaving behind people, but about stepping into a season of divine alignment. The new people and environments God is bringing into your life will help you grow in ways that you never thought possible. They will challenge you, support you, and push you to go further than you ever thought you could go. You may not fully understand why this shift is happening, or why certain relationships are fading, but trust that God is positioning you for something greater. He is aligning your circle with your next level. The discomfort you feel in the process of this shift is a sign that God is leading you forward. When you allow Him to guide your steps, you will find that every change is purposeful and part of His plan to get you closer to the person He created you to be. In this season, God is removing what no longer aligns with your purpose and making room for the connections that will help you fulfill your destiny. You are not losing anything in this shift. You are gaining more. God is preparing your circle to walk with you in this new chapter of growth, and every step you take toward embracing the new will bring you closer to the destiny He has for you. In the next chapter, we'll break down the 7 signs that God is shifting your circle and how to navigate this transition with faith, patience, and wisdom. Trust that this process is divinely orchestrated and that God is carefully selecting the people who will help you rise to the next level in your calling. It might feel uncomfortable, but it's exactly where God wants you to be. The shift is happening, and it's leading you to a new and powerful season of purpose and growth. When God begins shifting your circle, it often starts with a sense of disconnection. Old relationships that once felt comfortable and easy may suddenly begin to feel strained or less fulfilling. You might notice that some friendships or connections no longer resonate with who you are becoming. This isn't because you've done anything wrong. It's simply because your growth is pushing you beyond your old environment, and certain relationships can no longer keep pace with your evolution. There's often a feeling of distance, even if nothing specific has happened to cause it. The old connections no longer serve you in the way they once did, and this can be confusing. You might find yourself thinking, "Why do I feel so distant from people I was once close to?" Or, "Why am I no longer interested in the things that once brought me joy?" The discomfort you feel in these relationships is not about conflict or failure. It's a divine shift happening in your life. God is moving you forward, and the connections that once suited your old season are no longer aligned with where He is taking you. When God shifts your circle, the old relationships no longer resonate with who you are becoming. People who once felt like your tribe may now feel like they are in a different place, spiritually, emotionally, or even socially. These changes are part of the process that God uses to refine and elevate you. Your circle is evolving, and so are you. The second sign that God is shifting your circle is discomfort in familiar environments. You may find that places you used to enjoy, whether it's a social setting, a work environment, or even your hometown, no longer feel like they fit. You might feel a deep inner unrest when you try to stay in old dynamics or return to the places that once gave you peace. What used to feel like home now feels unfamiliar, and what once provided comfort now seems draining. This discomfort isn't a sign that something is wrong. It's God's way of stretching you out of your comfort zone. Comfort zones are meant to stretch, and when it's time to move forward, the discomfort becomes undeniable. When God calls you higher, the old spaces can feel like they're holding you back from your true potential. This disconnection from familiar places is one of the clearest signs that God is pushing you out of the place of comfort and into a new season where you can grow even more. It might feel uncomfortable to step away from these old environments, but it's a necessary part of the shift. The spaces you once occupied may not align with the version of yourself that you are becoming, and God knows that. He is shifting your environment to match your new identity and to open up space for greater growth. The third sign that God is shifting your circle is the emergence of new desires and connections. As you evolve, your desires, interests, and values begin to change, and you will feel a natural pull toward new people, communities, and environments that align more closely with your current growth and future goals. Where once you might have felt drawn to certain people or places, now you feel an inner calling to connect with others who inspire you, challenge you, and support your growth. God aligns your desires with your destiny, leading you to the right people and spaces at the right time. These new desires are an indication that God is aligning your heart with His purpose for you. As you grow in your relationship with Him, He will place people in your life who can help propel you forward, people who share similar values and goals, and who will help you stay aligned with His divine plan. You might find yourself seeking new communities that feel more attuned to your spiritual, personal, and professional goals. This isn't a coincidence. God is positioning you for your next season. These new connections are part of His plan to help you rise into the person He's calling you to be. The relationships you once relied on may no longer align with your new path, but God is leading you to the people who will help elevate you to the next level. These new connections will be ones that inspire you to be better, push you to grow, and encourage you to walk in your full purpose. As you begin to embrace these new desires and connections, you'll feel a deep sense of alignment with God's plan.
These relationships and spaces will be fertile ground for the seeds of purpose God has planted in you, and they will help you cultivate the growth He has ordained. Embrace the discomfort of leaving behind the old, knowing that God is leading you to what is next. You are not losing anything. You are gaining everything that aligns with your future and purpose. The shift is happening, and it is for your good. Trust that the people and environments God is bringing into your life will provide the support, inspiration, and challenge you need to keep moving forward into your calling. As you walk into this new season, know that every step is part of God's perfect plan for your life.
When God begins to shift your circle, there are clear signs that you are entering a new season. These shifts may feel disorienting or even unsettling at first, but they are necessary parts of God's divine plan to move you toward your purpose. The signs of this timeline shift often manifest in ways that feel uncomfortable, but rest assured, they are divine indicators that you are moving in the direction God has designed for you. Understanding these signs will help you recognize what is happening in your life and give you the clarity and peace to embrace the changes with faith and trust in God's process. The first sign of a timeline shift is a sudden disinterest in past activities. Things you used to love, whether it's hobbies, places, or people, may suddenly no longer bring you joy or fulfillment. You might find yourself feeling bored, distracted, or even frustrated by things that once excited you. For example, a social group that you once enjoyed spending time with might no longer align with your new sense of purpose, or activities that used to bring you peace might now feel like a waste of time. What once brought you joy now feels like a distraction from your growth. This is a clear indication that you've evolved. God is shifting your desires, your heart, and your goals toward what aligns with His purpose for your life. The things that once fit you no longer do because you are stepping into a higher calling, and these past activities or relationships simply don't resonate with the version of yourself that God is shaping. It can feel strange, almost like losing a part of your identity, but it's simply the beginning of a new chapter. The discomfort you feel is an invitation to release what no longer serves your growth and embrace the new passions, interests, and paths God has for you. The second sign of a timeline shift is a desire for solitude and reflection. As you grow and evolve, there comes a time when you feel the need to disconnect from the noise of the world. You may find yourself craving more alone time, more quiet moments, and a deeper connection with your own spirit. You crave solitude because it allows you to hear God's voice more clearly, to evaluate where you've been, and to prepare for where you're going. In the stillness, God often speaks the loudest. You might feel the need to reset, recharge, and reassess your direction. This is not about isolation, it's about alignment. Solitude isn't isolation, it's alignment with your next step. It's during these quiet moments that God aligns your heart with His purpose and confirms the direction you should go. When you find yourself pulled toward solitude, embrace it as a time of spiritual recalibration. God is preparing you for what's next. In this period of reflection will help you prepare emotionally, mentally, and spiritually for the next season. The third sign is unexpected shifts in your relationships. As you move forward into a new season, some relationships may naturally fade or evolve. You may find that people who once felt like your closest allies no longer align with the person you're becoming. Friendships that once felt nurturing may start to feel draining, and people you were once close to may begin to distance themselves from you. Or you might find that you feel the need to distance yourself. God removes distractions by recalibrating your relationships for what's next. This doesn't mean that people are bad or that they no longer care for you, but rather that your growth has shifted your alignment with others. God is realigning your circle to support your purpose. Some relationships, no matter how significant they once were, can no longer accompany you to the new level God is taking you. You might even notice that certain people, once close, now feel like they are no longer a part of your journey. Instead of resenting the changes, see them as divine shifts that are necessary for your growth. God is setting you up with new relationships, connections, and environments that will better support the person you are becoming and the mission He has given you. The fourth sign is a deep sense of restlessness. You may feel unsettled, like something is about to change, but you don't know exactly what it is. It's an internal stirring, a quiet but undeniable urge to move forward, to step into something new, even though the path may not be clear yet. This restlessness can feel uncomfortable because it's not always accompanied by clarity, but instead, an overwhelming desire to push forward into what God has next for you. Restlessness is God stirring you into action for your next season. It's a sign that your spirit is ready to grow, to embrace new opportunities, and to step out of the comfort zone you've been living in. This restlessness is often the catalyst for big changes, and while it may feel like a discomfort, it is a sign that God is preparing you for the next chapter of your journey. Instead of resisting this feeling, embrace it as part of the process of spiritual growth. Trust that this discomfort is pushing you toward your next breakthrough. When you notice these signs, sudden disinterest in past activities, a desire for solitude, unexpected shifts in relationships, and a deep sense of restlessness, you can be sure that a timeline shift is occurring in your life. These signs are all markers of God's hand at work, preparing you for something greater. Though the transition may feel uncomfortable, it's important to trust that God is guiding you into a season that aligns more fully with His purpose for your life. The path ahead may not always be clear, but God is leading you step by step. These signs are not meant to discourage you, but to prepare you for the new things He is doing in your life. Trust that the timeline shift is a divine process, one that is taking you closer to the life and purpose God has in store for you. Navigating the shift that comes with God realigning your life and changing your circle is not always easy, but it is essential. When relationships start to shift, environments feel uncomfortable, and new desires begin to emerge, it can feel like you're walking through an uncertain, even unsettling season. But trust in this. God has a purpose in every transition, and He will guide you through it. The key to navigating this time of change is faith in God's plan, discernment to understand the shifts happening around you, and letting go of what no longer serves you. Let's break down how to embrace these changes with grace, clarity, and peace. The first step is to trust God's plan for your circle. The natural reaction when relationships change or people begin to fade from your life might be fear or doubt, but God is sovereign over your relationships. Trust that He is removing, shifting, and bringing the right people into your life for His purpose. Even when it doesn't make sense in the moment, trust that He has a bigger plan at work. You might feel like you're losing something, but in reality, God is making space for the relationships, connections, and opportunities that will support your next level. God knows who you need for the journey ahead, and if He's removing someone or something from your life, it's because they aren't part of the next chapter He's writing for you. Trust that the shift in your circle is part of His divine plan, even when you don't fully understand why certain things are changing. The second step is to use discernment. As relationships and environments shift, it's crucial to ask God for clarity in recognizing His hand in these changes. Discernment allows you to see beyond the surface and understand the purpose behind each connection, both the ones that remain and the ones that are leaving. Sometimes the relationships that fade aren't always bad. They just no longer align with the person God is calling you to become. Prayerfully assess the relationships and environments in your life, asking God to show you who He is calling you to grow with and who He is calling you to release. It's important to remember that God will never lead you to a place where you are forced to compromise your growth. Ask Him to give you the wisdom to know when to walk away and when to stay. Discernment will help you understand which relationships and connections will support your future and which ones are meant to be let go of. Trust in God's timing, because He will always lead you to the right people at the right time. The third step is to let go with grace and peace. As relationships and environments shift, it's natural to want to hold on to the familiar, to the people and places that once brought you comfort. But in this new season, you can't hold on to what's behind you without sacrificing what's ahead. God is calling you to let go of old roles, past connections, and environments that no longer serve your purpose. Releasing with grace opens the door to greater connections and purpose-filled relationships. It's important to release these old attachments without guilt, knowing that God has something better for you. The relationships that you need for your next season will be in alignment with your growth, and the people you are meant to walk with will help you move forward in your purpose. Letting go is not about losing. It's about making space for new opportunities and new connections that will fuel your growth. Don't be afraid of the transition. Trust that the release is part of God's plan for your elevation. The fourth and final step is to embrace the new connections God is bringing into your life. New people, new communities, and new opportunities will emerge as you release the old and step into your new season.
These connections are meant to nurture your growth, challenge you, and support your purpose. God brings people into your life for a reason, and as He shifts your circle, He is positioning you for success in your next season. Open your heart to the new relationships God is bringing your way and embrace them with openness and discernment. The people God is placing in your life now are part of your destiny. They are divinely chosen to help you get to the next level. And by welcoming them into your life, you are accepting the next phase of God's plan for you. These new connections will be instrumental in helping you grow spiritually, emotionally, and personally. Embrace them and trust that they are part of God's divine timing for your life. As you move through the shift in your circle, remember that the process of letting go and embracing the new is part of the divine realignment that God is orchestrating for you. Trust that He is preparing you for a higher purpose, and every change in your circle, every new relationship, and every release is part of that beautiful plan. Stay grounded in His will, trust His timing, and move forward with the assurance that your next season will be even greater than the last. As we bring this message to a close, I want to remind you of a powerful truth. Trusting God's timing for your relationships and connections is key to walking in alignment with His purpose. It can be hard when you notice certain people or environments fading out of your life. You might feel confused, uncertain, or even a sense of loss. But God is always working behind the scenes, and He has a divine plan for every relationship that enters your life and everyone that exits. You're not losing anything of value. You're gaining what's necessary for the next phase of your journey. Often, when God shifts your circle, it's to elevate you to new levels of growth, purpose, and fulfillment. God doesn't just change your surroundings. He changes your connections to fulfill your purpose. Just as He strategically placed the right people in your life in the past, He is now removing what no longer serves you and bringing the right individuals into your life to help propel you toward your destiny. Trusting God's timing in your relationships means believing that He knows exactly who and what you need at each stage of your journey, even if you don't fully understand why things are changing. When God removes people or situations from your life, it's not to hurt you, it's to protect you from distractions, unhealthy dynamics, and anything that would keep you from walking fully in your calling. As difficult as it can feel to let go of old relationships or environments that once brought comfort, God is aligning you with new relationships that will support, challenge, and elevate your growth. This isn't a loss, it's a divine realignment. You are gaining the right connections that are in sync with your next level of growth. So trust the process. You don't need to know everything about what's ahead because God's timing is perfect and He is in control. Trust that the people He removes and the people He brings into your life
are part of His greater plan for your purpose. Sometimes we hold on to relationships, situations, or environments because they feel stable or comfortable. However, the truth is, the past is not always the best place for you to stay. God is taking you to new places, both physically and spiritually, and the people and relationships that aligned with your old season may not fit your new direction. The process of change and realignment might feel painful, but it is for your benefit. Trust that every shift in your circle is divinely orchestrated, and that God is creating space for people who will walk alongside you in your new season, pushing you forward in your purpose.
It's important to remember that God doesn't just shift relationships because He's changing things for the sake of change. He removes what cannot go with you into your next season. Certain people, behaviors, or environments might have been vital for your previous growth, but as you elevate, these things no longer support your divine calling. What God is doing is making room for what's better. People who can truly help you thrive, environments that will nurture your purpose, and connections that will fuel your spiritual, emotional, and personal growth. God's timing is never random, and He has a purpose in every change. It may not always make sense in the moment, but He is working to align everything in your life with His perfect will. You're not losing anything. You're gaining the right people and opportunities. Trust that when God removes someone or something, He is replacing it with something that is more in line with the person He is calling you to become. You are not losing anything you truly need. Everything that is being shifted or removed was never meant to be permanent. God will always replace what is taken with something better. He is preparing your life for something that is in complete alignment with His plan. The key is to embrace the changes, trust that God is guiding your relationships, and surrender any fear or doubt that may arise when you see familiar faces fading away. The relationships God is bringing into your life now are those who will help support you, push you, and elevate your growth. They will challenge you in ways that will bring out the best in you, and they will walk with you in alignment with the purpose God has for you. Trust in God's perfect timing and wisdom. As He changes your circle, know that He is also preparing you for the greater purpose He's unfolding in your life. Your future is brighter than your past, and the people He is bringing into your life are part of that bright future. God is leading you to people who will celebrate your success, encourage your growth, and help you become who He's always intended for you to be. As you move forward, trust that God will always bring the right people at the right time. Let go of the fear of losing anyone or anything, because God is positioning you for greatness. The people who are meant to stay in your life will be the ones who align with your growth, your calling, and your divine purpose. Keep moving forward in confidence, knowing that God's plan for your life is unfolding in perfect timing. God's timing for your circle is always for your elevation. So, let go of the past, trust God's process, and embrace the new relationships and connections He is bringing into your life. They are part of His perfect plan for you. As we close, chosen one, remember that the shifts in your circle are not just about change. They are part of God's divine design for your growth and purpose. Trust that God is guiding you to the people and environments that will help you fulfill the destiny He has planned for you. Even when it feels uncomfortable or uncertain, trust in His timing and know that He is aligning you with what's best for your future. You are not losing anything you need, and the relationships and environments He is bringing into your life are designed to help you thrive. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to like this video to affirm your commitment to trust God's timing and embrace the new circle He is creating for you. Share it with someone who may need the encouragement to let go of the old and embrace the new that God has for them. Subscribe to stay connected for more messages on growth, divine alignment, and walking boldly in your purpose. Keep Keep walking in faith, chosen one, and trust that with God's guidance, your circle will evolve in the perfect timing He has set for you.
God is with you in every step. Trust Him, embrace the journey, and continue growing into the person He has always known you to be. Thank you for being here. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. Stay aligned with your purpose and keep embracing the new season God is bringing into your life.